How does a man completely fall apart in just 34 seconds? How does someone become so vulnerable in front of millions of viewers on live television? David Harbour's emotional breakdown on The Graham Norton Show might be one of the most heartbreaking moments in television history. Because sometimes the strongest-looking men show their most fragile sides when faced with the pain of love. And tonight, you're about to witness exactly such a moment. But before we dive into this story, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Because here we expose Hollywood's darkest secrets, the real faces of celebrities behind the cameras, and moments the media never showed you. Watch until the end, because the real reason behind David Harbour's breakdown that night is much deeper and more complex than you might imagine. To talk about that night, we need to go back in time. The Graham Norton Show studio is lively and energetic as always. Bright lights, excited audience, and of course Graham Norton's legendary red chair. Graham is in the studio with his usual relaxed, fun atmosphere that puts his guests at ease. Everything looks perfect. David Harbour enters the stage with completely different energy. This powerful man we know as Jim Hopper from Stranger Things is normally confident, charismatic, and in control of every situation. But tonight something is different. That old sparkle in his eyes is gone. There's a forced smile on his face, and his movements are slow, as if carrying weight. The audience is applauding, of course, but David's energy is affecting them too. Fans who normally go crazy when they see David Harbour are more cautious this time. It's as if there's thick tension in the air and everyone can feel it. Graham Norton starts with his usual warm welcome. "David, it's wonderful to have you here. How are you tonight?" And that's when it begins. David's face changes. That forced smile disappears and is replaced by a much deeper, much more complex expression. "Graham," he says with a slightly cracked voice, "to be honest, I'm not doing very well." This answer surprises everyone. On The Graham Norton Show, guests usually talk about fun, positive things. But David's frankness instantly changes the atmosphere. Silence falls among the audience, and cameras focus on David's face. Graham tries to continue with his professional reflexes. "Well, we know you're going through tough times, but hopefully we can relax a bit tonight." David nods, but his eyes are vacant. "You know, Graham, sometimes life brings you to a point where there's no such thing as relaxation. Every breath you take hurts." These words create deep silence in the studio. People are no longer expecting entertainment. They're feeling his pain. And David continues as if he has to pour out everything inside. "Everyone knows about the situation between Lily and me. The media wrote every detail, every fight, every disagreement. But none of you know what really happened." Graham Norton is starting to feel a bit uncomfortable. These kinds of intimate confessions don't really fit his show's format. But he doesn't want to stop David because this is such a real, raw moment. "David," he says gently, "maybe." But David cuts him off. "No, Graham, let me speak. I need to speak tonight, because tomorrow I might not have this courage." And then words start pouring from David Harbour's mouth that make everyone in the studio hold their breath. "I don't know anymore if such a thing as love really exists. Can you really love a person forever? Or is everything just a beautiful illusion? The time I spent with Lily, those moments, were they real? Or were we both just fooling ourselves?" The cameras show David's face in close-up, and viewers can see his eyes filling up. This strong, determined man is now completely defenseless. "David," Graham quietly intervenes, "maybe this conversation should be in a private setting." "Private setting?" David's voice rises. "Graham, I've been talking in private settings for months. With therapists, friends, family. But none of it works. Because the real problem is this: I've forgotten how to love." This sentence creates a bomb effect in the studio. No one expected such a confession from David Harbour. Yes, you heard right. I've forgotten how to love. Or maybe I never learned. Throughout my relationship with Lily, I constantly forced myself. I tried to give her as much love as I could, but it was never enough. Because I'm emotionally too damaged. David's voice is starting to shake now, and some people in the audience begin to cry. This is such a real, painful confession. "Lily was perfect," David says. "She gave everything to us. A woman with an open heart, limitless love, endless patience. But I didn't deserve her. And worst of all, I realized this too late. Graham Norton doesn't know what to do anymore." These kinds of emotional breakdowns rarely happen on his show, and viewers don't know how to react either. "How did it happen then?" Graham asks, his tone much softer now. David takes a deep breath. "I got scared. Yes, I got scared. Lily loved me so much that it frightened me. Because I didn't think I deserved that love. And you run from what you fear, don't you? So I ran. I distanced myself, built walls, pushed her away. But why David? Graham's voice is almost a whisper now. Because when you're afraid you'll hurt the person you love, the safest way is to push them away. Stupid, isn't it? But that's how I thought. While trying to protect Lily, I lost her. David is now completely in tears. Millions of viewers can clearly see the pain inside this man. And now? Graham says, now it's too late. Lily doesn't trust me anymore. And she's right. Because I proved to her repeatedly that I was untrustworthy. In every fight, every disagreement, every silence. When she gave me her love, I gave her my fears. David's voice drops to almost inaudible. Do you know what Lily last said to me? The audience waits for an answer in great silence. She said, David, you say you love me, but actually you're just afraid of being alone. They're not the same thing. And at that moment I understood she was right. I didn't love her. I was just afraid of being without her. This confession deeply affects everyone, because most people have experienced this situation in their own lives too. So what will you do now, David? Graham's question is very simple, but the answer is so complex. I don't know, Graham. I really don't know. Maybe I need to learn to love myself first. Or maybe some people aren't born for love. Maybe I'm one of them. David, don't think like that. Graham tries to intervene, but David continues. No, it's possible. Maybe some of us have to be content with just watching others and imagining their happiness. Maybe my role is this: to love from afar, watch from afar, hope from afar. David's words create deep sadness in the studio. Viewers are now seeing not just David Harbour, but their own broken hearts in him. But the hardest part, David says with his voice getting even more muffled, the hardest part was watching that light in Lily's eyes go out. The love, hope, future she saw when she looked at me, watching all of it slowly disappear. How did that light go out? Graham's question is very bold. It went out a little more with each fight. It dimmed a little more with each silence. It decreased a little more each time I said sorry. Because apologizing is easy, changing is hard. And I never changed. David now covers his face with his hands. Lily only wanted one thing from me, to be present. To be there, to be with her. But I was constantly somewhere else. In my mind, in my fears, in my past. Is there a specific moment? A turning point? Graham asks. Yes. David lifts his head. Last month, Lily's birthday. I was planning to propose to her that day. I had bought the ring, prepared everything. But when the moment came, I froze. Surprised gasps are heard among the audience. Why? Graham's voice is very soft. Because when I was giving her that ring, I saw the happiness in her eyes. And at that moment, I realized I wouldn't be able to sustain that happiness. I knew I would disappoint her. So I kept the ring in my pocket and never gave it to her. Does Lily know this? She knows now. Because when she got home that night, she found the ring. And when she asked, I told her everything. My fears, my doubts, my helplessness. David's voice is now completely broken. And that's when Lily said the most hurtful thing to me. David, you don't want to marry not because you don't love me, but because you don't love yourself. And she was right. This sentence deeply shakes everyone in the studio. Because this isn't just David Harbour's story, it's also the story of fears inside most people. What happened after that night? Graham asks. After that night, everything ended very quickly. Lily packed her bags and said to me, until you learn to love yourself, you can't love anyone. And I'm done waiting for you. David's tears won't stop now. And you know what the most painful part is? She was right. Completely, absolutely right. Graham Norton now approaches David and puts his hand on his shoulder. David, don't blame yourself so much. Why shouldn't I blame myself, Graham? I destroyed the most beautiful thing in my hands with my own hands. A woman like Lily, such pure, such sincere love, I lost her because I was afraid I wouldn't deserve it. But David, Graham tries to intervene. No, let me say it, Graham, because maybe this is the last time I can speak this openly. Lily is finding someone else now. The photos I see on Instagram where she's smiling. She's happy now, happy without me. David's voice becomes almost inaudible. And I'm happy about this, really, because she deserves that happiness. Someone else is giving her the happiness I couldn't give her. What about you? Are you happy? Graham's question is very difficult. David remained silent for a long time. Then very slowly, happiness? I'm not looking for happiness anymore, Graham. I'm just looking for peace now. And maybe the peace that comes from having lost her. This is very pessimistic, David. It's not actually, because now there's no fear of losing Lily. I already lost her. Now there's no fear of disappointing her. I already did. Now there's no fear of hurting her. I already hurt her. David turns his eyes to the camera. And now I want to say this to everyone here. If you have someone you love, tell them. Don't hide it because of your fears, because I hid it because of my fears and now it's too late. The audience is now completely silent. Most are crying. David, Graham says, is there one last thing you want to say to Lily? David thinks for a long time. Then looking at the camera, Lily, if you're watching this show, I want you to know that you were the most beautiful thing in my life. And my having lost you doesn't mean your worth was small. On the contrary, your worth was so great that I couldn't handle it. David's voice is now whisper-like, I loved you. I really loved you, but I wasn't brave enough to live that love. And this is my mistake, mine alone. The show ends here. David Harbour stands up, waves to the audience, and leaves the stage, leaving behind a very deep silence. Tonight, David Harbour wasn't just a guest on a show. Tonight, a man shared his broken heart with millions of people. And maybe this was the first step towards healing, because sometimes the greatest courage is admitting you're broken.